This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today I'm going to do a movie review for Mile 22. Next time I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 29 and 30, an anime review for Shimoneta, and a movie review for Crazy Rich Asians. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd really like to hear from you guys as well, so leave any comments and make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So, the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to give a detailed recap of Mile 22 and then give my thoughts on the movie. As so, just to tell you, there will have spoilers. And as far as an initial grade goes, I'd give it. I can't give it a definitive, but it'd be like a C plus B minus, and I'll tell you why in my thoughts. So let's recap Mile 22. Okay, American Black Operations Agent James Silva leads a strike team codenamed Overwatch to infiltrate a Russian FSB safe house in the U.S. Under the supervision of James Bishop, Overwatch's mission is to locate and destroy shipments of cesium before the highly toxic substance can be weaponized to kill thousands. The team successfully kills the occupants, while Overwatch member Alice Kerr is wounded. One of the boys falls out of an explosion after unsuccessfully trying to save all of the cesium. Silva executes the boy who pleads not to be killed, and everyone escapes. 16 months later, Indonesian police officer Lee Noor surrenders himself at the U.S. Embassy to negotiate for passage out of the country in exchange for information. Noor is revealed to be Alice's asset and reveals that the disc contains the information regarding the last cesium, but he negotiates for passage out of the country in exchange for the code. The information in the disk is destroying itself and will be rendered useless in a few hours. So while Nora is being tested, Alice tries to come to the terms of her family issues. Axel, Axel, leading a team from the Indonesian State Intelligence Agency, arrives at the embassy and demands that Nor be handed over. Meanwhile, Nor fends off an assassination attempt by Indonesian agents. Overwatch operatives Sam Snow and Alice arrive, and they're pretty shocked at his combat prowess, learning that Nor used to be Indonesian Special Forces. So Silva agrees to take Nor to an airplane where it is 22 miles away, hence the title, Mile 22. While driving, Nor reveals um, his reasons for turning on the Indonesian government. The government apparently has been corrupt and killed his family, and while driving, the camera Bishop was looking at blacks out, then comes on again. During the camera blackout, Axel has his men put bombs on the car, making it explode. While Silva's team helps fend off Axel's men, Sam is mortally injured. After defeating most of Axel's men, Silva gives Sam two grenades and leaves her, letting her suicide attack the remaining henchmen. Sam was played by Ronda Rousey. So Silva, Nor, Alice, and Douglas enter a restaurant, and Silva sees Axel and walks towards him, even though Bishop tells him not to. Axel tells Silva to give up Nor, but um, Silva refuses and walks away. He brushes past two girls and realizes that there's a grenade in the restaurant and tackles down civilians before it explodes. When the dust clears, Douglas is severely wounded, and Silva is attacked by the same girls, only for Nor to save Silva by killing them. While going to a safe house, Douglas dies while holding off Axel's men. So while entering the safe house, Alice is separated and meets a girl in an apartment. Alice and the girl escape harm by using booby-trapped grenades. And meanwhile, Silva and Nor split up, fighting Axel and his henchmen. And then Silva and Nor meet up again and meet the girl that Alice saved. She leads them to Alice, where Alice is pretty much losing a fight against a henchman. But Nor kills the henchman by shooting him in the head. On the way to the airstrip, the remaining team members are briefly confronted by Axel. Silva uh, has Overwatch kill Axel by destroying his car with a drone strike. The team barely make it to the airplane where Nora and Alice board the plane to meet her family once again. While on the airplane, Bishop notices Noor's heart rate is accelerating, and it's revealed that Noor isn't a agent, but a triple agent working for the Russian government. And the boy Silva killed was the son of a high ranking official within the Russian government. The official hired Noor to give Alice the wrong information so they would trust him. And just as Alice pretty much realizes this, Overwatch is totally ambushed and the entire team is shot save for Silva. Bishop barely escapes and rests outside while Alice's fate is pretty much left unknown. Silva realizes this too late and tells his experience during a post mission debriefing. And back at home, Silva puts up Noor's picture, vowing revenge. So, before we get into my thoughts on the movie, I'd like to plug my author's website at www.chrismoldon.com, and you can read a new blog post on there every week. Also, do you like action, adventure, fantasy, crazy new characters, different worlds? Then buy my book, The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom, for just $4.99 via ebook on Amazon.com or on my author's website. Links to buy it will be provided on the page description, and please also make sure to subscribe to this channel, as that would really help me out. So, let's start with the characters here. So, to my thoughts, we have Mark Wahlberg playing James Silva. I'll be perfectly honest with you. He is a bit off-putting. He talked real fast, and he always acted like he's the smartest guy in the room. He kind of rambles about like this meta. He gets a bit meta about things, about patriotism and just deception and whatnot. Um, I wasn't fond of his character very much, just because of that. Like he wasn't. I know he's not supposed to necessarily be likable, but he wasn't like. I didn't find him like a cool character or particularly interesting either. He was just mean spirited. He's just like a jerk, you know. And I'm just like, okay, like he's not a funny jerk either. He's just a jerk, you know. I don't know how else to say it. So I can't really say like I didn't totally hate him, but like I said, I was just kind of put off by him. Character I did like though is Lee Noor. He's played by Iko Uwais. Um, Uwais. Uwais. Once again, I am terrible with names. Just to tell you, sorry. Um, but his claim to fame so far has been the raid, and I gotta say, I am so glad to see him in the U.S. You know, he has he utilizes in his movies and whatnot a different type like uh, I want to say a different fighting style. Obviously, it's gonna be like you know made for cinema, like martial arts for cinema and whatnot. But if you ever watch like the Raid, it's just a little more brutal in a sense. Like, and you can kind of see it here too, where it's just kind of like, okay, here's a piece of glass. Like, if you watch the Raid, there's a scene and when they're in like this prison, and these guys are holding up this guy, and one guy just grabs a shank and just starts stabbing him like multiple times, super fast, and so it's got this like realistic yet made for cinema type of fighting. And it's, I mean, over here it's going to be a lot more stylized, obviously, but it's kind of have that same idea here where it's a bit more brutal, you know, like his style of fighting. Um, a bit more realistic. Like I said, I'm not going to say it's realistic, just a bit more realistic in the sense. Um, Obviously it's a movie, so you know it's gonna be a bit stylized. You know, most people don't die just because like you punch them once in the stomach. You know, I mean that. But in a movie, yes, you know. Um, but and most of the critics actually um, with Eco, I mean, all of them. It didn't get this movie did not get good reviews. It got generally poor reviews, except for Eco. Everyone thought that he was a standout, someone that really helped the movie. And there was one problem. It has nothing to do with him. Everything to do with the editing. And I said this. My friend said this. I was watching the movie with. The reviewers say it too. The critics. What was up with the editing? It's like all of a sudden he's on one side of the room and then he's on the other side of the room, and they keep editing and cutting it in this way that makes it frenetic. I understand what they're going for, but man, this guy is so good at these action scenes. Let him do his thing. I mean, seriously, just let this guy do his work, show it, show it in its entirety. I have no idea why they felt the need to have this hyper editing. It just, it doesn't work. He, his style lends more credence to just to, to not do that. You want to see like the full thing. You want to see him like punching the dude in the head and stomping them when they're on the ground. You know what I mean? Like you want to see that, like the whole sequence, not just like a super quick punch. All of a sudden they're on the ground and this like and a stop motion, but not, like you don't want to do that. For example, it's like but yeah, I really wish they didn't edit it so much. It's just unnecessary. Let this guy work. He's a really good action star. I'm, like I said, I'm really glad to see him getting a break in the U.S. I hope he gets more, Um, he's really good. He's really good. Yeah, John Malkovich as James Bishop, who they called Mother. I mean, he was kind of sat in the back, There wasn't really much to him. Um, Lauren Cohan, who played Alice Kerr, she was there and like she had her family issues and whatnot, but like I don't know, I didn't really feel she brought much to the table. And a lot of these characters didn't bring much to the table, or else they're underutilized, except for Iko. Ronda Rousey with Sam Snow, and it's like she's totally badass, like she can't act. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Huge fan of Ronda Rousey. I was following her when she first got into MMA. I mean, I was watching her stuff on YouTube. I was telling people, "Hey, man, watch out for Ronda Rousey." I remember her first fight. Some of her first fights. She fought gosh, was her first fight's not Eddie and Gomes. It was Tweet. Yeah, armbarred her, armbarred like Eddie and Gomez, went to Strikeforce, armbarred like Julia Budd, armbarred Misha Tate. Man, I want to see her judo tossing and armbarring dudes, like that. That's the thing. Like she's really good. She's good at like there, it when she should say little and she kind of carries this big stick, and it's just like you kind of believe that she can kick a lot of ass, you know. Um, at least that's the appearance she gives. Obviously, everyone knows that she got laid out by Holly Holm and Amanda Nunez, but like. In these roles, she comes off as someone that you don't want to mess with and can fight. And it's just kind of like you didn't get enough of her. She was kind of badass. You got the impression she's badass, and then she dies and kills. And you know takes out some men while she commits suicide. But it's like, man, well, not commit suicide. Well, she's holding the grenades as she's dying, and you know, it's like a kamikaze attack, I suppose. Dude, you should get Iko versus Ronda. Just let them fight. Like it's there. Like I said, like she's someone that I think could have stood out a bit more, and then they just get rid of her so early in the movie. I really think at the very least, just more action scenes with her. She doesn't need to say much, but like, yeah, I think that was something of a misstep there too. Um, Overall, I mean, the action was good. The plot was interesting. You know, the whole triple agent thing I thought was pretty well done. Uh, Enough. It made enough sense. Um, for the movie. It was a good twist. Um, so I thought that was fine. I was fine with it. And then apparently, it, with the triple agent thing, it's like Mile 22 is actually intended to be a starting point to a multimedia series. And apparently, there's a web series for it. There are also plans for a sequel, which is apparently in the early stages of development. So, I mean, you have to have Lenore versus James Silva. You gotta keep this villain going. And I think Lenore is a good villain. He can fight. He is really smart, um, which is kind of like James Silva in a sense. Smart, James Silva's the smartest guy in the room. Oh, hey, I got outsmarted, even though I'm the smartest guy in the room. That's the thing, and he can fight. So it's kind of weird that this is this idea of like things being a franchise or a multimedia series. I mean, a lot of productions lately have been trying to go this direction. It's fine, you want to make as much money as you can. Everything from Valerian to Ghost in the Shell, It's seemingly they seemingly wanted to make it into a multimedia series, or um, and have sequels, and they just weren't successful. I gotta say that this movie, like I said, it's a C plus B minus because it's all right. It was fun enough, but to say it's like good enough for a I'm not thinking like, oh man, I gotta see the next Mile 22, which would be Mile 23, like, and I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so amped to see the next Mile 22, it's like, it didn't leave me with that per se, it's like, okay, that's a fun movie, um, okay, like, it did its purpose. I was entertained. Had a cool twist at the end, despite the editing. Good enough action scenes and whatnot. Um, Lee Nor, played by Iko Uwais. Once again, bad with names. I'm sorry. Definitely a standout in the movie. So I mean, there was enough to like, but like for it to be like a multimedia thing, hey, if it does well, cool. It gives more chance for Eco to be on the big screen. So hey, that's always a plus. Um, but yeah, overall, it was all right. It was fun enough. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this movie review. Next time, I will have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 29 and 30, an anime review for Shimoneta, and a movie review for Crazy Rich Asians. Thank you, and until next time.